Welcome back. Welcome back. We got a quiz coming up. This is a partial quiz review. This is the one that's for a grade. Remember, there's going to be proofs as well, so make sure you can do the proofs on the other PDF, guys. I'm going to work through this. Pay attention. Do a good job. See what you did wrong. Make corrections. Do better. Try again. Do the take-home review. Extra practice. We got this. Which of the following lines is perpendicular to this line? There's a few ways you could do this. Perpendicular slopes. So if this slope is 1/7, right? 1/7. The perpendicular slope would be the opposite reciprocal. So because it's multiple choice, I don't actually have to write the equation of the line. I just need to find the line that has a slope of -7. So if I go through this, and we already know the answer is B, but for example, if I did the slope of A to B, I don't care how you do it. The way I do it is 8 to 7. Remember that it's technically y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's how you get slope. The way I think about it is I look at the y values, 8 and 7. That's -1 on top. The y values, 4 and -3. That is -7 on bottom, which is positive 1/7. We're looking for an answer of -7. So that's not it. That has a slope of positive 1/7. That is potentially parallel, but it's definitely not perpendicular. A to C, same thing. 8 to 1 is -7. And 4 to 5 is +1, which is -7. Nailed it. That's the one that we want. So we know we got it. I'm going to keep going just to get the last two quickly, just so you can see them. A to D would be 8 to -2 would be -10. We're already in bad shape. 4 to -2 would be -6. That would be positive 5/3. Definitely not it. And then lastly, B to D, let's see what we got there. Be -9. And then -3 to -2 would be positive 1 or a slope of -9. So that, of course, that's not it. So the one we wanted was choice B for sure. So we can know if lines are parallel just from their slopes. But this next question, it actually wants us to write the equation of a line. So let's go through that process. Remember that the equation of a line is we want y equals mx plus b. We need m, x, and y. And if we have those three letters, we can solve for b. So this is the key to getting the slope. It has to be parallel to AD. So I'm going to get the slope of AD over here. Same thing we were just doing. A to D. 8 to -2 would be -10. 4 to -2 would be -6. And that is negative divided by negative, and reduce it, it's going to be 5/3. So if it has to be parallel to AD, it has to have a slope of 5/3. And then it says it has to go through point C. Point C is going to give me my x and my y. That means x equals 5 and y equals 1. So now that we know the slope and the coordinate we're going to use, we're going to plug it into the equation. Y equals 1, so we plug in a 1 for y. The slope is 5/3. X equals 5, and we're going to solve for b. There's a few ways you can do this, but I want to practice multiplying by 3. We're going to multiply everything here by 3. 3 times 1 is 3, and this is the fun one when we do this distribution. I'm going to take it up here. This is 3 times 5/3 times 5. We have to know how to multiply that, guys. It might make more sense if I did like 10 times 2 times 5. How would we do that? 10 times 2 is 20. That goes away. And then 20 times 5 is 100. That goes away. That's how multiplication works. What do a lot of people do, though? What a lot of people will do is they'll do 10 times 2 is 20, and then 10 times 5 is 50. Is that what we do here? No, 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 no. When you do 10 times 2, that is 20. The 10 and the 2 are gone. They become the number 20. So when you do this multiplication, when you do 3 times 5/3, the 3's cancel out. They are gone. And you are left with 5, and then there's another 5 over here. That is 25. So if you can't do that, then you're going to have to find another way to solve these. But when you multiply by 3, the 3's cancel out. You do not multiply it by 3 again. But then you still got to do 3 times b. That would be 3b. So subtract 25 would be negative 22 equals 3b. Divide by 3, so our b value is negative 22 over 3. We know that the slope is 5/3. We know the b value. The only one that has both of those correct is A. All right, using parallel lines correctly. We want to find angle 1 and 6. What do we have? We have angle 1, got it. We have angle 2, got it. We have angle 3, got it. What do we know about 3 angles in a triangle? They're going to add up to 180. So our starting equation is 3/4 x plus 25 plus 63 plus 7/4 x plus 12 equals 180. You can do a few things here, but I'm actually going to go ahead and combine. I can do 3/4 plus 7/4 pretty quickly. 3/4 plus 7/4 is 10/4, which reduces to 5/2. So I'm going to make that 5/2 x, and then 25, 63, and 12. What do those add up to? That would be 88 plus 12 is 100. So we have plus 100 equals 180. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the fraction just to make it a little bit easier. So that would be 5x. So I'm going to do everything times 2. That would be 5x plus 200 equals 360. So 5x equals minus 360 be 160. So x equals 160 divided by 5. Well, that's 100 divided by 5 plus 60 divided by 5. That would be 20 plus 12. So that would be 32. So we know x equals 32. We can go ahead and plug that in. Let's just get some actual values here real quick. 32, when you plug it in here, divided by 4 would be 8. 24 plus 25 is 49. This is obviously 63. And then over here, 32 divided by 4 is 8. Times 7 is 56. Plus 12 is 68. So just a real quick check. 49 plus 63. I'm just typing it in my calculator just to make sure that I got the correct numbers. I added these 3 numbers up, and that is 180. So I'm feeling real good about that. So angle 1 is 49. Angle 2 is 63. And angle 3 is 68. We do not have vertical angles, well, at least not with angle 3. If I keep going, like this angle would be vertical, but that's not there. So there's not a vertical situation. I gave you parallel lines for a reason. So highlight them if you need to see them, but these 2 lines are parallel. I'm looking for angles that use the parallel lines. For instance, angle 1 has a brown side. So I start on brown, I turn, and I turn again. That's going to be 49. I could have also done angle 2. Angle 2 has a brown side. Start on brown and turn. When do I turn? I turn on brown. That's going to be 63. If you make that letter Z, they're going to be alternate interior angles. They're going to be equal. So we know angle 1 is 49. We had that earlier. Angle 6... well, angle 6 is going to be angle 3 plus 4, like those are vertical angles, or 63 and angle 6, those make a linear pair. Either way, whether you add those 2 together or you do 180 minus, doesn't matter. You're going to get 117 for angle 6. All right, moving on. More parallel lines. Got to get the lines correct, my friends. Mustard or gold is parallel to this line down here. This line is pretty long. And then I'm going to go blue with blue. So blue side and blue side, these are also parallel lines. So we can go all over the place. I'm going to kind of do this quickly, but we know the 105. 105 has a blue side. I could go this way, blue with blue. So this corner would be 75. Now this is tough, my friends. So this corner is 75. Guys, if I start on mustard and I turn, when do I turn again? On mustard. So it's this corner and this entire corner have to add up to 180. That's our setup. Or you can know that that corner is 75. But even if you don't think about it like that, we know that 105 plus 39 plus y plus 30 plus y equals 180. It's the entire corner. If I deleted this line, a lot more people would get this correct. You cannot, like if I do this already, you cannot start, turn, and then turn on this line. This and this are not parallel lines. You must start and finish on parallel lines. So let's go ahead and solve this. We would have 100, that'd be 69. 69 plus 5 would be 74. So we have 2y plus 74 equals 180. Sorry, 174. So 2y equals 6, y equals 3 on this one. And that's what I have there. Nice. If I plug in 3, like this would be 33. Plug in 3, this would be 42. Do those add up to 75 like we know they needed to? Remember the whole angle 75? Yes, yes, yes. All right, and then we need this angle. There's a couple of ways to get it for sure. If I go back up here, I'll do it in black. If I start on mustard and turn, right? If I trace that 75, I keep going, I could turn in. This corner is going to be 105. That's the letter C. Those are same side here. Or turn this way. This corner is going to be 75. Another way to see it, if you start on this one and you turn, right, this entire angle, you keep going, these two angles, this entire corner and this corner are going to be corresponding angles. And these two lines are parallel, so they're going to be equal. But do not say it's 33. The 33 part, this line and this line are not parallel. You cannot do that. So there's a few ways to get there, but at the end of the day, you got to realize that's a 75-degree angle. So 65 minus 2x has to be 75. So negative 2x equals negative 10. So, nope, negative 2x equals positive 10. So x would equal negative 5, and that's okay, right? If you plug in negative 5, what is 65 minus 2 times negative 5? That'd be 65 minus negative 10, which is 65 plus 10, which is what we need. So those are my answers, 3 and negative 5. Killed it. Next one, same picture, just what kind of angles are they? We're going to go real fast through this. Angle 8, 2 dots. Angle 5, 2 dots. Here's the transversal. Here's the other line. The other line, angle 8 and 5 are on the inside. That is same side interior angles. 7 and 2. Here's angle 2. Here's angle 7. Oh, we just did this on the last question. Here's the transversal. Other line, other line. They make the letter Z. They're in between the other lines. No matter how you look at it, those are alternate interior angles. 10 and 3. 10, this line, and 3. Oh, well, they're just next to each other. That's LP, linear pair. Or if you're watching this, don't know what year you're watching this, but Linkin Park just came back and made a song for League of Legends called Heavy as the Crown, literally just released about an hour ago. Oh, man. So I'm pretty hyped right now. Don't know if you can tell. 7 and 5. 7 and 5. We talked about this one a second ago. But they do have a line in common. This is the other line for 5. This is the other line for 7. 5 is inside. 7 is outside. That is corresponding angles. Yes. They're not equal because they do not use parallel lines, right? The line for 7 and the line for 5 are not parallel. So don't say they're equal. They're not equal. But they are corresponding. Corresponding angles do not have to be equal. And then finally, we've got 6 and 2. Here's 2. Here's 6. There's no line in common. There's no line in common, my friends. If I were to erase angle 6, like both lines that make angle 6 are gone, is angle 2 still good? Yes. No relation. All right, let's look at this question. Oh, man, people are struggling here, that's for sure. The parallel lines are BC and AD. So BC, that's this guy, and AD, that's this guy. There's going to be more than one way to solve this, that's for sure, but at some point you got to use some parallel lines. Things I've told people to do immediately: fill in vertical angles, fill in linear pairs. Up here, fill in vertical angles. So that's, over here, fill in vertical angles. These are things like you can do right away, even if you don't know how to solve the question. And when I did that, I noticed I had a triangle that has two angles. That's a hard thing to see, but be on the lookout. If you know two angles of a triangle, you can always get the third angle. 75 plus 20 is 95, so this corner has to be 85. So far, I haven't used any parallel lines. I've just filled in vertical angles, linear pairs, and a triangle. But we do have parallel lines. There's several things we can do with parallel lines. I'm going to start over here. Like this 93 uses brown. If I start on brown and turn, I need to turn on brown. That makes the letter C. That's going to be 87. And that makes sense because these are alternate interior angles, or these are corresponding. Like they've got to be the same. So that's going to be 87 there. So once I know that's 87, I can fill in more stuff. Like 87, like I know that these three are going to add up to 180. They make a line. So 87 plus 20 is 97. So what's left over? 180 minus 97 would be 83 up here. So this is going to be 83. Wait, did I mess up? 87 plus 20 is not 97. Team, 87 plus 20 is 107. Oh, sorry, dear. This is going to be 73 here then, which makes this one 73. Another way you could have done this a little harder is if you start on brown and you turn on brown. This entire corner and this corner have to be equal. Those are alternate interior angles. So if you knew one of them was 20, you know the other one has to be 73. So there's a few ways you could do it. The angle 20 also uses brown. Guys, notice I'm looking for angles that have brown sides. If your angle has a brown side, you can do parallel line rules. So like those two spots are the same size because of the brown angles. Now a lot of you might be looking here, should these two angles be the same? I've seen it a lot where people say they're the same. If I trace those angles, the 75, and like if I trace those spots, have I used parallel lines? Do we know if these two lines are parallel? They didn't say those lines are parallel. So you cannot go this direction. You cannot go this direction. Oh, sorry, you can't go from this line to this line. Maybe more clear. You can go from brown line to brown line, that's okay, but you can't go from non-parallel to non-parallel, it doesn't work. Up here, once we know that's 85, this would be 85, 95, and 95. And we got lots of stuff. Let's actually see what the question's asking. Angle DAB. Guys, I see, guys, the A, that's not angle A. This is not angle A. No, A is the point. This is point A. So when I say DAB, it's D, A to B. Trace the letters in order. You just drew this angle. DAB is that 85-degree angle. Over here, BDC. Where's B? We have B, D, and C. If you trace those letters in order, BDC, you just trace the 73-degree angle. And finally, DCB, that's D, C, and B. I know it's getting real messy, but if I trace DCB, I just traced that angle. So those are my three values there. All right. It says lines that look parallel are parallel. That's nice. So we got parallel lines all over the place. We have red is going to be parallel to red. These look parallel, so they are. Because of those, I know these two angles are equal. Those are alternate exterior angles. So because of those red lines, I know that alternate exterior angles are equal. So that would be 3x plus y minus 145 equals 3y minus 3x minus 415. There's two letters. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to make it something x, something y equals something. Remember the format is ax plus by equals c. So I'm going to get all my x's on one side. So I'm going to add 3x. That'd be 6x. So that's gone. I'm going to subtract 3y. There's already a y over there. That's going to be minus 2y, but that's gone. And then I'm going to take this number to the other side. Remember, I want the constants on the right. So I'm going to do 415 and 145. So 415 minus 15 would be 400. Minus 30 would be 370. It's going to be 270. negative 270. So that's my first equation. Now, the other thing they told us is that these lines are parallel as well. Remember, lines that look parallel are parallel? So the brown lines are parallel. Because the brown lines are parallel, I know that these two angles are going to add up to 180. Those are same side exterior angles. They're going to add up to 180. So let's write that equation. The next equation we're going to write is 3x. Let's do it. Where am I going to do it? I'll do it over here. 3x plus y minus 145 plus 6x plus 1/2 y plus 55 equals 180. I know if I add those together, I get 180. I want to do the same thing, but I have a fraction. That can be a problem. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that fraction first. You can do this any way you want, depending on how strong your fraction skills are. But I need to multiply the whole thing times 2. So 6x plus 2y, that'd be minus 290. That'd be 12x plus y. That would be plus 110 equals 360. Now all the fractions are gone. So I multiplied everything times 2. This is a 2 over here. Now I want something else. I want it to be in this format now. So I want it to look like this. So I have my x's, that'd be 18 x's. So I'm combining like terms. They're on the same side of the equal sign, so we're just combining like terms. 2y and y would be 3y. And then negative 290 plus 110 would be negative 190, negative 180. Add that over to the other side would be 540. Okay, so there's my second equation. Now, one of the things you could do is you could reduce these equations because like this one you can divide everything by 2, this one you can divide everything by 3. That's actually what I'll probably go ahead and do. I think those smaller numbers will make this easier. So if I divide everything by 2, I get the equation 3x minus y equals, that'd be 135, negative 135. Over here, if I divide everything by 3, I get 6x plus y. Ooh, that's real nice. 540 divided by 3, what is that? 54 divided by 3, what is that? Is that 18? I should know this. Yeah, that's definitely going to be 180, but I'm typing it in because now I'm doubting myself. Yeah, that's 180. That's such a common thing. Why didn't I know that? All right, this was real. I'm really glad I did this because my y's already cancel out. So remember, you can multiply or divide by anything you want, but because there was a GCF of 3, I thought it would be easier. Divide by 3, make those numbers smaller. Divide by 2, make those numbers smaller. And it turns out the y's already cancel out. So 9x would equal 45. So x equals 5. Go back and plug that in. I have 3 times 5 minus y equals negative 135. So this would be 15. So subtract 15, be negative 150, which means y is positive 150. And those are the answers we had up there. If you weren't certain, could you take the x and plug it back into this equation? Could you plug it back into this original? You can plug it in anywhere you want. You should get y equals 150 no matter where you plug it in. All right, one more question. This is the 4th time we've seen this question where we have parallel lines and it makes a trapezoid. So we know that these two lines are parallel. That means we can go this direction. The number one mistake is people are going to tell me these two angles are adding up to 180, or they're going to tell me these two angles are equal. No, no, no. If you look at that, if you circle that, did you just circle 2 different parallel lines? No, that's the same black line, right? If you start here and turn here, did you start and end on parallel lines? No. But if you start on black and you turn on black, now we got something. So that's the move we want to make. And we can do that over here as well. Start on black, turn on black. So our equations are the left side, 2x plus 2y plus 2x minus 10 has to add up to 180. I'm going to clean that up. That would be 4x plus 2y equals 190. The other side is going to be 3x minus 25 plus 5y minus 95 equals 180. Clean that up and you get 3x plus 5y. 95, that'd be 120. Added over, that would be 300. So I moved those to the other side and I got 300 over there. We got a couple moves we could do here. All of these are divisible by 2. I'm going to go ahead and do that move. It worked out so nicely last time. That'd be 2x plus y equals 50 plus 45 equals 95. And then the other equation is 3x plus 5y equals 300. Now we got to make some choices. I could make these match by making them both the number 6, or I could make these match by making them both the number 5. Both are roughly the same difficulty, maybe. If I do this method, times 5 is going to be big numbers. If I do this method, I got to do both equations by something. But I'm going to go ahead and multiply this row by negative 5. I think multiplying just one row is easier than having to multiply both rows. Because if I made this 6, I would have to do times 3 on top and times 2 on bottom. That's more multiplying. So I'm going to go ahead and do the times negative 5. And that's going to get me negative 10x, negative 5y. That's what we want, right? We want a positive and a negative of the same number. And then 95 times 5, 450 and 25. So negative 475. Okay, and then I'm going to add these two rows together. So the y's cancel out. I get negative 7x, and that would be negative 175. So let's see, let's break that down. That'd be 140 divided by 7, and 35 divided by 7 would be 25. So x equals positive 25. Perfect. Once I know x is 25, I'm going to pick this equation. 2 times 25 plus y equals 95. That would be 50. So 95 minus 50 is 45. So there's my x and my y, but the goal is to get the measure of angle A. So if I go plug those in, 25 and 45, this would be 50 plus 90, which is 140. And could I go plug in everywhere to make sure it checks out? Like this would be 50 minus 10, which is 40, and that checks out. Those have to add up to 180. You can do the same thing over here and make sure your answers work if you have the time. But 140 is what we're looking for here. All right. Oh, that's all. Aw, it's already done. That was a fun review. I'll see you on quiz day. Let's go.